So hello and welcome everyone. I'm Deva Haley Mitchell and I am here with Erica Kaufman, who is a very inspiring woman. She is the founder of Lila Yoga and has a school in Pennsylvania, training people in many things, including asana, including breath, pranayama, including how to live life fully. She also has done some really interesting work in her life around reconciliation, working with second-generation Jews and Germans and bringing them together for healing purposes, as well as a background in contact improv and touch. So I'm very inspired, and what you don't find on Erica's bio, and you would never know without talking to her, is that she's had some pretty intense physical challenges that she has overcome as part of her experience on this earth plane. And so I wanted to open with that because I feel like that's something people would never know about you without talking to you, and it's something quite amazing that you've overcome such intense challenges and you've done all that you have. And so I think it's really inspiring, and maybe you could begin with a story about that.
Thank you so much, Deva.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for your work that you do.
You're welcome.
And interesting, when you use the word overcome, it caused a little bell in my reaction, and I thought, is it an overcoming? I think that what is true is that I was born, and I'm so thankful, and it happened to be that I was born early, and I had some pretty intense physical challenges, some of them which didn't unfold until much later in my life, and I didn't know would be a part of my life, including the fact that I am what's called legally blind now. And I know my eyes look totally normal, but I can see general shapes and colors, but where you see one of something, I see 19, and they're slightly overlapped, and so it's dizzying, and I can't drive or go to movies or go to plays or museums, read a book, or recognize anybody, even my own children, if they don't move or talk. And sometimes I'll recognize people, and sometimes I think I recognize them, and 50% of the time I'm right, and sometimes the other 50% I meet somebody new. And I don't know if it really is overcoming, but rather not. It's very clear to me that that's not who I am.
Yeah.
It's what I am living with, and
you also said it's kind of informed some of your work, that you're so interested in touch and contact improv because those have been tools, so it's actually led you to develop as the amazing being that you are.
I feel very thankful that I wasn't an accountant when when my eyesight really changed, because I was completely able-sighted. I was 20/20, and then literally one morning I woke up and things were kind of doubled, and then it just got worse from there, and it took over a year to diagnose, and it was very strange and emotional, because it's easy to accept your body when it's working well and sort of take it for granted. Like, this is, I don't wear glasses, I'm not visually impaired, like your identity.
Right.
And my physical identity was changing very fast, and some of the freedoms that I had, like driving or recognizing people or being able to notice facial expressions, those kind of things were quickly leaving my ability to recognize, and yet there I still was. And so once again in life, I had maybe a temptation or a flirtation with the idea of being a victim, of being very sad and feeling negative around the loss of that. But I don't know, I don't know what comes first, the person you're born into, your personality, or the experiences in life. I don't know, who knows? But something about my personality does not want to stay down.
Or maybe it's your spirit.
Maybe it's,
your soul.
Well, thank God for this soul, because this soul uplifts this little person that's been given the name Erica, and gives her the qualities to be able to laugh and to be able to say, new system, new vision, but these eyes may see 19 of a single object, but this eye still has the ability to see clearly. And I still have the same interest, and I still have the same love, and that to me is more interesting than the dwelling on the things that are difficult. And so it's
And you're
not,
still leading groups. I'm meeting her in India, where you are leading a group of 26 people here. So what's so fascinating to me is this has definitely not stopped you. And so
well, I wonder what it would be like if I was fully abled with my vision.
well, maybe you'd be completely on fire. But you know, for those of you who are watching, I know all of us have challenges and have things that really stop us in our tracks. And I feel like what's really inspiring about you is that, you know, this is not something that we were born with. This is something that came through time. And so this is your particular challenge. But for those of you who are facing some other kind of challenge in your life, to really see in action someone who is navigating with that. You say not even overcoming it. It's just something that
I'm
you're
living with it. It's like a roommate you didn't choose, but it's, you know, a person who's in a wheelchair, or a person who doesn't have hearing, or that's not who they are. It's what they're living with.
right.
My abstracted vision is not who I am. It's not my identity. It's not something I hate or love. It's what I'm living with, and I'm thankful I'm able to see as much as I'm able to see, and it's a subject that is of interest one of the gifts that it gave me is to be able to see other people so clearly that they are not their body. That, you know, I see an older person, I see a person who has lived a long time. I don't see an old person.
Right.
I see me that's lived longer, you that's lived longer, with blessing to have lived that long. I see somebody, like I said, in a wheelchair or with a leg that's shorter than the other. I see a person who has a vehicle, that's their vehicle for existence, that has certain challenges with it, but that's not who they are.
Right.
They might be any of the full spectrum of existences. And so I feel this very strong calling to invite us all into our greater recognition of this time. It's so easy to fall into a heaviness and of sorrow, and I recognize the importance of sorrow, and I recognize the importance of crying and releasing and deep feeling. I'm a passionate person, and I respect it in others, and I love it. But may it be a release so that we can also be cleared of that clouding and be able to see the magnificence, to be able to be in the presence of beauty and our own inner beauty and the inner beauty of others around us.
Are there specific practices or things that supported you or that you'd recommend for others who are facing some kind of, you know, big challenge in their lives that might help them be like a lighthouse to steer through and to navigate as you have with your own challenges?
Yeah. You know, my mother was the one who introduced me to yoga, and I was very sick at the time. I was missing at least 50% of every school year for my grade school years on up into college with illness. And my mother at age 9 introduced me to yoga. And one of the great gifts she gave me was visualization, the power of visualization. And I think that it did something that allowed me to experience reality that was beyond, not separate from, but beyond the immediacy of what I saw as the experience. For instance, my eczema was really bad, and I don't know if you've ever seen bad eczema, but it's not pretty, and it's not pleasant. And
for those who aren't familiar, do you want to just
it's
take
a
a break?
skin disorder. And like I said, it's not pretty, which means socially it's also not comfortable for others.
Awkward.
Right. But in any case, what happened with my mother is that she gave me the power of of knowing a place that wasn't about the immediacy of my situation or my skin. And she was able, through visualization, to teach me how to feel a deeper place of harmony within myself. She would say, and this is what I still do, and I do with my children, and I do with my students.
And maybe you can do with us too.
Absolutely.
That would be beautiful.
And it's very simple. It's to allow ourselves to close our eyes and be as comfortable as we could possibly be, and to imagine ourselves somewhere that is soothing to us. And it could be somewhere real, or it could be somewhere imagined, where even gravity isn't an issue. And you start to imagine more in detail the qualities of this place, of this experience. And for me, as a little girl, for some reason, it was a pond, and the pond was made of some sort of very soothing liquid that I was in. And then she invited me to have like a friend, energy be present. And for me, it was not a person, it was some sort of green light. I have no idea why, but that was soothing to me. Everybody would choose their own. And to build the image of this environment of peace, internal experience, to such detail that then it was affecting my physiological present moment. And my mother also worked with, there was another person, Dr. Clayton McCracken, who's a medical doctor, who also worked with me for 5 years of my life, working with meditation, and he would take my pulse and blood pressure and say things like, slower, Erica, slower. And so I'd work with these images of soothing, and I would teach myself how to allow the image into my present body moment and witness what it's like to live inside of a relaxed being. And so slowly, through this experience of imagery and observation of what was happening, what was changing in my body through these images, through these mental mantras, that I was able to develop first just an acquaintance with this peaceful internal self, and later a true deep relationship with. It became easier and easier to access that state of being. And after a while, I was able to access that state of being when not in meditation.
And is this considered part of the yogic practice? There's not a lot spoken about the visualization piece. Is that something you've woven in from other places, or is there a visualization thread that comes somewhere from more traditional yoga?
No, this was definitely through the work that my mom was doing with yoga, and like I said, the idea of visualization through mental mantras. But for her, the way she did it is open it up for me to choose what is soothing. And I find this to be very powerful when I'm working with people. There's a young boy in southern India that I've been working with. I've been blessed to meet a few times and invited by the family. He has cancer, and it's the emotional energy that has erupted around that situation within him and then within the family became a different kind of cancer. It became anger and a little bit of violence and discontent. And so when I was invited to meet with their family, I sat with, it was wonderful because, you know, Indian style, the whole family sits together, and it was great. The grandparents and the...
It's like a family counseling session.
Yes, and we're all sitting there and they're translating as I'm speaking. And I asked the boy if he'd be willing to do some visualization meditation with me. And we sat in the other room with the translator, the boy and the father. And again, I said to him, imagine a relaxing memory. Remember a relaxing memory, a soothing memory, or just anything you would like to design that helps bring relaxation to you.
I have to say, I've never even heard this mental mantra. I've never even heard that phrase before, so that's really beautiful. And as you're talking about it, I'm wondering if you might actually like lead all of us who are here through that, and so that this is a lived experience people can have, and then use that practice ongoingly in their life. Is that...
Absolutely, absolutely.
Anything else you want to say about it before we go into the actual practice of it?
Moving from theory into application I feel is a critical part of yoga. If these practices stay theoretical, if these practices stay contained in any way, whether through conversation or on a yoga mat, or in ideas or in planning, and then in the rest of your life you are frustrated, short-tempered, then we can't really call it useful. And so the application of these things, anything that's offered, whether I offer it to you or anybody offers it, I invite you into applying it into real life situations. So yes, as I share this, I invite you to perhaps practice on your own, develop a relationship with it, and then perhaps at a difficult time in your life, you can just take a moment, separate yourself, take a couple breaths, and with this skill, re-enter a place of calm. You know, it's a place where you're unified. What is yoga? Unified. You're not separate. You're not distracted with the different elements of who we are. Our emotions, like I said, I love emotions. They're part of who we are. It's so sweet that we're reactive and that we cry and that we laugh. And it's all part of
the experience, part of being human. That's part of why we're here.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
But if we're ruled by that and we're imbalanced by it,
Right.
then we can start reacting in ways that perhaps are not balanced. And so before we enter a difficult situation, I would invite you to try this. Maybe you're about to give a public address and you don't like to talk publicly. Maybe you're about to talk with somebody about a subject that's difficult for you, and you're feeling insecure about your ability to do it. Whatever it is, I believe that when you take time, and sometimes it could just be a few minutes, take time to commune, to feel your individual self, relaxing out of the individual desires and into the larger supportive whole. Then even if you're the only person there who is speaking that voice, you are not alone. You are communed with the peace, the larger energy, and it supports you in what you do next. So this might be something you can apply toward that.
I'm so excited. Okay, great. So how long does it usually take? Is it maybe, so people can be prepared, is it a meditation that's around 5 minutes or so? Can we do a shorter version that's maybe around that 5 to 7 minutes?
We can do a short version.
Great.
That we can even do a shorter one if you like, and then if
I think
people...
that's fine. Let's spend 5 minutes and
Okay.
deepen into it and see where we go. And I'll just be your student in this, so people can, you know, you can guide me as you're guiding those who are watching.
That's wonderful.
Perfect.
That's
okay.
good. Okay.
So I'll just...
So first of all, allow yourself, whether you're at home or wherever you are, if you're taking this time, just make your body as comfortable as it can be.
Okay.
And allow your eyes to close. And I want you to enter into a non-judgmental relationship to this experience. Meaning, let it be what it will be. And for whatever reason, you've chosen to take this time to take care of yourself. Not attached to the result of what will happen, but interested in the journey. So no matter what happens, just let yourself kind of take a personal oath that you are accepting this as part of your interest and part of what is being offered, and you are offering it to yourself. So you feel your body. This is the vehicle that enables you to exist. You can feel perhaps your feet. And maybe you can feel like a tingling kind of energy, not like your feet are falling asleep, but where you actually become sensitive to the circulation of life force. And if you don't feel this, visualize it, imagine it. Imagine a life force, a will that is beyond your mind, that feeds and nurtures the continued existence of you in the moment. And once you start to feel or visualize that tingling, beautiful, nurturing presence circulating, see if you can carry it up to your ankles and to your lower leg. Almost like you're dipping into a quality of awareness, like pulling a stocking on. I very much, when I'm doing this, I actually feel it. See if you can feel that. Maybe you're sensitizing to the blood circulating. So we're going deeper into your concentration, becoming aware of things that usually you're not. And go ahead and wrap some of that awareness around your knees. See if you can feel that tingling energy, and up through your thighs, until you feel your full legs, your knees, your lower leg, your ankles, your feet, and your toes filled with the blessing of life force. It's bringing life energy to this body. It's enabling these legs to move. And you can visualize that energy kind of coming together into the pelvic region. With all the, once we enter into the torso body, there's more of the emotional body and very powerful regions. So our primordial kind of energy of existing, just as you live at sort of base of the pelvis and this area of feeling your connectivity to the down energy, to your ability to release, and see if you could feel any tingling energy at the base of the pelvis. And allow your mind to have the mental thought of, I exist. I am existing as a being. And I feel the tingling blessings of my presence. And carry that up to the mid-pelvic region. And feeling from the waist down this tingling energy of presence. And as we go through the organ body, it gets sometimes harder to feel the tingling. Maybe you could feel it on the skin of your torso. But go into the visualization of wrapping almost like fascia, the sheaths that surround each organ with this kind of glistening blessing of tingling energy. And it is almost as though you have nothing to do with it, you're just witnessing it, like awakening to realizing life force living within you. And let your mind hover around your heart for a moment, like you might hover around a campfire. And with this appreciation, this heart is enabling and it's attractive. If you can imagine your hands, like in samastisi, you don't move your hands, but just imagine your hands like in prayer pose, gently inside your chest, cupping your heart. What an honor that would be, to feel the life force, the will to live, to feel the strength of the heart in its malleability, in its ability to change, in its ability to not be rigid. And respectfully just back away from the heart and feel it spreading radiance across your chest and blessings down your arms, and let your attention just land in your hands and feel that tingling energy in the hands and fingers, so that for a moment your hands and fingers are not about doing anything, but about just recognizing the life force that they are part of. And now dip the full arm into that radiant tingling sensation. And once again, let the mind recognize this shaft of energy that can live through the length of the spine and carry it through your throat, tingling blessings through the throat and into the roof of the mouth, illuminating the wildness of the mind, and not attaching to any story or memory, just kind of illuminating lots of different experiences until finally some energy radiating through the crown. And perhaps you feel some tingling energy in your face, your lips, your mouth. And now that you're present inside your body, allow the beauty of imageation, creating an image, imagination, to facilitate an environment for you that is soothing to you. It could be based on a memory. It could be based on something that you just create, but that soothes you. And feel yourself relaxing into it. Create the perfect environment for you. It'll be different for each of us. Is there anybody else present? Not to challenge you. Anything that's present in this image is here to support your relaxation. Notice the way your body's reacting to the experience. Feel this body of energy being supported by this loving environment, this soothing environment that you have created for yourself at this point in time. And you're free to edit it. You're free to make changes to it so that it's perfect to support you. And the whole purpose of this place is to free you. Maybe you say your name inside your own mind, and this is her place or his place to be soothed so that you can be free. You can be free to be your radiant, magnificent self that we all need you to be. And just feel the invitation of peace. Feel the invitation to be yourself. To be in the world, not dominated by conflict, not dominated by fear, but supported by beauty, by love, and by trust that being inside of the healthy you can support and offer into this world beautiful things that are unique to you. Just take a couple breaths with that. And in the final few breaths, just kind of press a mental save button, a place that can become familiar, that you can come to at any time. This place can be renovated and redesigned to always suit your needs. It's not bound by any borders or any other limitations. It's available to you. And just allow yourself to feel it with one last breath. And it doesn't go away, it's part of you. And just let it wash through your spine and out through your arms and legs, and just feel it present within you as part of who you are, as part of that tingling energy. And as you're ready, just softly open the eyes.
Thank you. I feel definitely very peaceful and present, and just look at you and just feel the kindness, the kindness in your eyes, and the kindness in your face, and the kindness of this experience I just generated for myself, and hopefully you all just generated for yourselves. So with that, I want to thank you. I know we're coming to the end of our time together, but I feel having these kinds of practices are really important, as you said, to help us, and to hear that this was something that was so powerfully helped you to navigate through your own challenges. I can see this would be very useful for all of us, whatever challenges we may be facing. So do you have any final words today?
just to know you're not alone when you are facing difficult things, that you have the possibility. First of all, the work you're doing, the work I'm doing, the work many people are doing, is out here to say, we're here together. We've been blessed with this life. And even when we're feeling quite isolated by a circumstance, things change. And they can change in an instant. You know, a phone call can come and change your perspective. If a phone call can come and change your perspective, we don't need to wait for the phone call. We can practice with practices like this visualization that can help us. And when we help ourselves, we can help others. Yeah.
Blessed be the gift. So thank you for helping yourself to become as inspiring as you are. And thanks for helping all of us with this practice and with your story and your life. So blessings to you.
Blessings
thank you.
to you. Thank you so much for your great work.
Thank you so much.
Dare to live free and respectfully. Yeah? It's a great gift that we're alive. So use it beautifully with good service and generosity. Thank you so much for your work.
Indeed. Blessings.